It is that time where I get to make the informed guess as to which commander will be coming next to Rise of Kingdoms. So today, I'm going to be trying to predict the next commanders coming to the game, trying to predict what their skills may be like, trying to predict who they might pair with, trying to predict if they're going to be overpowered or not, and also just giving a general prediction of when I think they're going to release and the troop type that they're going to be. So if you're interested in the next commanders coming to Rise of Kingdoms and a bit of an early guess as to what these commanders may do, you want to stick around till the end of the video. Now let's start off today with two disclaimers. First of all, if my audio sounds weird, it's because my microphone has come off its stand, so that's a small problem. And the second thing is, everything I say today is purely just a guess. I'm guessing as to what these commanders may do. I don't actually know. I have been right before. I've been miserably wrong before. It can really depend on what releases, but we can kind of get a gauge based on what the previous commander releases were, where the commander trajectory has been going this year, and also the current state of the troop type that I think it's going to be. And of course, I think it's going to be archers, because generally we get cav, infantry, archers, leadership, engineering, cav, infantry, archers, leadership, engineering, and that cycle repeats. So using things like that, previous cycles, and also just looking at other commanders and what the new commander may do, I try and predict the commander that might be coming to the game. I don't have any inside information. This is no guarantee of what might be coming. It is just a little fun way to make some prediction as to what could be in the game very soon. With that out of the way though, let's get straight into it. We're going to start off with the first thing, and that is obviously that it's going to be an archer commander, and we're going to start off with the field commander. And I think the field commander could go really two ways. The first way is they go down the mighty healing path, and they become really, really overpowered with Shajar. And I say overpowered because right now archers suck and no one wants to run them. So if archers get a bad commander, I'll be very, very surprised. It would pretty much kill the troop type for another year, which would make no sense. So I think it's almost guaranteed we're going to get a really good archer open field commander, probably going to be a must-invest commander almost. So when it comes down to it, I think the next archer commander is definitely going to be quite meta. Either really, really good with Zhulang, or really, really good with Shajar, or decent with both. I think they're going to either be a Mighty Heal commander. They might not be very tanky, but they might use Mighty Healing. Obviously, Mighty Healing in general is going to make the commander tanky, but they might not be as tanky as other commanders like Shajar. But we could see a commander who is using Mighty Heal to deal damage. Maybe they damage themselves and they can Mighty Heal it back. That's a certain possibility, which would be super obscure, but it is a chance. Or maybe this commander isn't really damaging themselves and they're just using Mighty Heal bonuses to give themselves tons and tons of AoE or tons and tons of high DPS. On top of this, they're probably going to have to be really good against the current infantry meta, which is pretty much Baiki and Liu Che. If they don't hardcore counter Baiki Liu Che, I would be extremely, extremely surprised. Right now, Baiki Liu Che is just super overpowered, and the March is just ridiculously good. Maybe some way to nullify some of their buffs would be interesting. I don't know if they're going to do that, but it's certainly possible. And the other thing to consider is if we do get an archer commander, they're probably going to want to have not a OP power against cavalry, because obviously cavalry are meant to counter archers, but rather they're going to have to do something to deal with cavalry absolutely wrecking them all the time. So when it comes down to it, archers probably going to have a really decent Mighty Heal commander with Shajar. That would be one guess. The other option would be another just stock standard skill damage commander who's going to go with Zhulang. Reason being, Zhulang is still a very good commander. He just kind of lacks with Hermann Prime. Not saying Hermann Prime's bad, it's just the March isn't powerful enough compared to some of the more meta Marches. It's got double AoE and all that snazzy stuff, and it's got pretty okay stats. It's just Baiki with Liu Che and Arthur Pendragon with a Hao Che Bing. It's way stronger. It's going to demolish everything, like, by a mile, compared to Zhulang Hermann, which is kind of like a weaker AoE March if you're being fully realistic, and that is a little bit tragic for archers. So we could see just a classic skill damage commander who could be really, really good with Zhulang and probably a decent pairing with Hermann. We could see something similar to a better Boudica Prime. The reason I say that is Boudica is a very good primary commander, and we don't really have an amazing primary. Shajar with Zhulang is decent, but she's a very, very wishy-washy commander on the field. You don't really know where she's going to go when you run her. She could be really good, she could be really bad, and she's kind of stuck in two worlds, Mighty Heal or just normal skill damage, and a lot of her kit is reliant on her being a Mighty Heal commander. Like, for example, Mighty Heal factor here is just completely useless for most of the time, even when you're using an active skill. Doesn't matter if you're in a primary position, you're just going to get that Mighty Heal bonus, and no one really cares about that. So a lot of her kit can be stuck behind being mighty healed while this command ship on the map, whenever it's reduced to 60% units, it will be mighty healed for a large portion. People don't really care about that when it comes to pairing it with Zulang. But if they got a good primary commander who's either an AoE beast with some decent stats, or someone like Boudica Prime, it could certainly make a very strong march with Zulang. It could be completely meta, and it could definitely hold its position and at least give archers one good march for the open field. Something to say they're not completely useless, unlike they are right now. So there is a chance we could see something like that, and it could certainly be quite a good march to have indeed. So a good primary with Zulang is certainly a possibility, possibly something like a Boudica Prime. In terms of the damage on this primary, if you look at other primary commanders right now, even AoE commanders like Baiki, they're dealing damage upwards of 2,400 in 5 targets, and I'm pretty sure the other single target commander, which may have been a cavalry commander, well, I mean, we don't have a single target one recently, but even that being said, 2,800 damage to 3 enemies kind of says if we get a single target commander, they could deal upwards of 200 possibly. I know that's a ridiculous amount, so 1,000 more than Boudica Prime. They could deal close to that. If Arthur's doing 2,800 damage factor to 3 targets in an AoE, 3,200 doesn't seem too ridiculous. Now, it'd certainly be powerful, and I think it would be the first commander in the game to literally have 3,000 single target damage. I don't think there's another commander that does that. Besides, I mean, I do guess Subutai does, but it's not just 3,000 in one hit. It is 3 combo attacks. So really, 3,200 for an archer commander, single target damage, doesn't seem too insane. With a decent debuff, with some good stats, would certainly make them good on the field. They would be pretty good like Boudica. Possibly they have something to counter combo damage, counter smite damage, similar to how Boudica here can get rid of control effects. Maybe they have reduced normal damage. They take reduced normal damage. Something like that can be really good with Zulang, makes him more tanky, and will give him a good solid primary. That would be my main prediction of what we get, because more people expertise Zulang than they did Shajar, and I don't think it would be very fair or a smart idea to give Shajar a really good commander and leave Zulang in the dust. So my main guess would be we get a better Boudica Prime type commander. I know I said that before with Shajar, and she kind of did feel that, but I think right now we could get a new Boudica Prime type commander, probably in AoE. I think Lilith is kind of just banking on this whole AoE stuff. So there's a good chance we'll get an AoE commander, probably 2,800, 3 target damage. I don't think we'll get another 5 target with some solid stats. Chance of a 5 target, sure. But if we get 3 targets with good stats, similar to Arthur Pendragon, that pretty much pairs good with Zulang, archers could be in a really, really neat position. Maybe it can be a dual commander where they can mighty heal or they can deal skill damage, similar to Shajar, similar to Arthur Pendragon. Certainly possible, but the greater chance, I think, is we just get a straight single target skill damage commander, or like a single skill damage commander, maybe with AoE, that could pair well with Zulang. But mighty healing is certainly an option, and a mix between the two is certainly a possibility. Anything other than that, I don't know if we're going to get something obscure. I doubt they'll go with something like a Cyrus-style commander, where they've got a ton of overtime damage and really unique debuffs. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to play it safe, if I'm going to guess, and just go with the commanders who we know are going to be relatively good. Going with commanders who are going to pair with Zulang and just going to do good and strong on the open field is certainly possible. I don't know if archers will get a very debuff heavy commander just yet. Maybe in a future release. Certainly possible that they do it, but it would not be the top thing on my list. I think it's going to be a stock standard damage commander, maybe a small debuff with good stats, who's probably going to pair really, really well with Zulang. In terms of the other commander, last time we got a garrison commander. This time we're probably going to get a rally commander. Generally it's garrison, rally, and it just repeats like that. So my main guess would be archers will be receiving some type of a rally commander. How strong that rally is going to be, I've got no idea, to be fully honest. It would have to go up against the current infantry garrison, which is very smite orientated. So the rally would obviously have a lot of normal damage reductions. Tokugawa Ieyasu, pretty decent garrison to my knowledge. And he's also got a lot of shielding and a ton of really smite damage. So smite damage with shield factor, gonna need a really powerful rally to smash through all of his shielding and all of his smite damage. So certainly possible that we get some commander with lots of normal damage reductions, a commander with a debuff possibly while they're rallying only, that reduces the opponent's normal damage. Certainly possible, can be similar to Henry, probably gonna pair well with Henry if I'm being honest, Henry or with Astro Bunnypile, and it's gonna be a pretty decent rally against most smite commanders. So rally, certainly going to be interesting to see what archer rally we do get. I think they're going to be quite good. Archers generally are a good rally. Only thing they're probably going to be squishy because archer rallies are generally squishy. So when we look at it, I think we're going to get a squishy rally that's kind of eating away at your opponent's let's say, smite damage or their smite damage capabilities, and maybe they have a way to nullify shields. That's also certainly a possibility, and I could see that being something that they do. As for when I think this Archer Commander will be released, well, there hasn't been any talk about an Archer Commander or anything just yet, but I think from the time when they talk about a commander, it can take up to a month before they put it in the game. Right now, there is no talk about a commander. Nothing on the official Rise of Kingdoms forums, nothing on their Facebook either, which means we're probably at least 2 months or a month and a half away from seeing the new Archer Commander. Right now, it's June. We might get it midway through July, like fully in-game, or maybe sometime very early August. That's probably when we'll see the Archer Commander come into the game. By key released around April. Going into July will be about a 3-month difference from then, so I think that does make sense. Generally, there is like a 3-month gap before they release a new commander. So, most likely, let's say around July to August is when we'll see the commander. Mid-July, late August is certainly possible. Bikey came around the 20th of April, sometime around then. He might have been officially in-game sometime early May, I can't remember exactly. He's been in the game for a little bit now. We'll certainly see some information on the new archers eventually. I think it'll be quite soon, actually. And they'll be in-game not too long after that. So I think that it's only a matter of time before we see some information about the new commanders. In terms of the rally commander, they come about a week after. Normally, that is when you can expect to see them. So when it comes down to it, we'll probably see the new the new rally commander in the Mightiest Governor around a week later. We always see field commanders on the wheel and garrison or rally commanders in the Mightiest Governor, so that's what we can expect. So I think we'll see a pretty good Archer Commander this coming cycle. I don't see a reason to give us a bad Archer Commander. If anything, it would make no sense to, considering the other troop types all have really, really good marchers. So right now, I think there's a good chance we get a really, really solid Archer Commander in the upcoming release, sometime around August to July. Most likely going to be a skill damage commander that pairs well with Zulang. Could be a double up between mighty healing and skill damage, or they could just be a very heavy mighty healing commander. Don't think they're going to be squishy. I think they're going to be similar to Arthur Pendragon, where they're relatively stat heavy and also deal a pretty decent amount of damage. Now, if you enjoyed today's video, please do consider subscribing to the channel. The second an Archer Commander comes out, I will be expertising it, as you can imagine, since I am an Archer main, and I'll be making videos on that as well. So if you're interested in the new Archer Commanders that will be coming to the game soon, I'm sure they will, I will be expertising them. I will see how many videos I can make on them. I will have up-to-date knowledge on the commanders, and I'll also tell you their best pairings. Now, considering Zulang is the only real good Archer Commander left, there's a good chance they only pair with him. But it's stuff like that that you'd only know if you subscribe to the channel. So subscribing, free, you can always unsubscribe later, and it is very much appreciated. Other than that, I just want to say thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.